A vaccine preventable disease took away my right to ever be called mom again, my right to ever be a parent at a wedding, to ever hold a grandchild, to see my child graduate from college, and more importantly, even to have his comfort in our old age when my husband and I have to leave each other. It could have all been prevented. Hi, I'm Frankie Millie, National Director of Meningitis Angels. More importantly, I'm the mother of an only child who died with meningococcal meningitis and septicemia. Ryan didn't have to die. Ryan wasn't a college freshman. He didn't live in a dorm. He was just a teenager who'd just graduated high school, preparing for life, just reached his pro golf status. And within 14 hours, he went from being a perfectly healthy, beautiful young man to blood coming from every orifice of his body and death. Just 2 months after Ryan's graduation from high school, on Father's Day, Ryan became ill with a fever and an earache. No other signs, no other symptoms of meningococcal meningitis, or any other meningitis for that matter. Within a matter of 12 hours, Ryan was hallucinating. His fever had gone up even higher. He was starting to develop petechia, hemorrhaging under the skin. I called his doctor and said Ryan has meningitis, and they told me to bring him right away. We got there, and I got Ryan out of the car and told Ryan to come on. And we got out of the car, and he said, "Mom, I can't feel my legs. They just feel numb." And I said, "I know, honey, just come on." His shoe fell off, and I stopped to put his shoe back on his foot. I carried my 6'2.5" baby boy into that emergency room screaming, "Help me, he has meningitis." Ryan looked at me and he said, "Mom, am I going to be all right?" I never answered because at that point I knew he probably wasn't. Ryan told his dad, "I'm cold, Dad, I'm cold." And so Bob began to rub Ryan's feet and tell him, "I know, it's okay." I just stood in the corner and watched as my child was dying right before my eyes. Ryan began to vomit blood, pure blood. The nurse said, "Ryan, we're going to put a stomach tube in because you're vomiting." And he said, "I'm sorry," and she began to cry. She looked at me and said, "What a good boy you have." Ryan's heart stopped. His dad was trapped between the gurney and the wall and the respirator. I was trying to get to Bob because I didn't want him to see advanced life support on his son. Before I could get to Bob, he was telling Ryan over and over and over again, "Daddy loves you, baby boy. Daddy loves you, baby boy." For just a few moments, Ryan's heart started beating on its own, and everyone stepped back. To their amazement, Ryan rolled his head in his dad's direction and mouthed the words, "I know." That would be the last thing Ryan would say. There are vaccines to prevent meningitis, whether it be Haemophilus influenza type B, streptococcal meningitis, or meningococcal meningitis, at least 4 of the 5 strains that are causing meningitis in the U.S. Please talk to your healthcare provider today. Don't wait. An hour a day can be too late. Talk to them and get your kids immunized. Give them the gift of life and protection against this deadly disease.